Hi dealers, thank you for attending our webinar today. As you know, we're going to be talking about marketing automation and why this tool is so effective in helping you close more leads for your dealership. My name is Lauren Lubunsky and I am the Public Relations Manager here at DealerSpike. My co-host today is Kale Denicic, who is our marketing automation expert and the manager of our marketing automation department. Kale, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. I've been with DealerSpike about 2 years now. I originally started as part of the SEO team, and I have since taken over the marketing automation department, working to develop the MA program here at DealerSpike.
Great. So before we get started, I just want to point out the control panel that you should all be able to see on your screen. You can expand or minimize that at any time by just hitting that orange arrow button in the corner. Also, we are reserving some time at the end of the webinar for questions. So if you have any questions throughout this presentation, you can type those into the question section that is on your control panel. Let's jump right in. So first, we'd like to go over 3 digital marketing touch points where marketing automation is really going to make a big difference in online strategy for dealers. Kale, could you go over what those touch points are?
Sure. So the first and most obvious aspect of digital marketing that we're going to touch on is website traffic. You know, the whole point of having a website is getting people to visit it, right? We'll also be going over 2 huge tools for lead generation and lead nurturing that go beyond your website, and those are email marketing and social media.
Great. Let's dive a little deeper into website traffic. We know that this means the people who go online and visit our site, but how does website traffic relate to marketing automation?
So when it comes to our website traffic, we're dealing with a lot of data. There are numbers and stats that we look at when it comes to the top pages on our site that people are visiting, the top manufacturers, and the top units that people look at, and more. All of that information is really helpful, and it is helpful to see which pages or units are the most popular for online visitors. But without marketing automation, we don't know who these people are or what individual people are doing on our site. You know, numbers are just numbers. On your DealerSpike site, you have lead forms set up that collect good information. The prospect's name, email address, phone number, maybe an address or place of business, but these are pretty generic items. You know, how do you tailor a message to that person based on what little information you know about them? And even more importantly, how do you know which prospects who filled out a lead form are really serious about a purchase? How do you know who to follow up with first? Marketing automation is going to help us answer these questions.
That sounds incredibly helpful. You're right. How does your sales team know who to prioritize and reach out to right away? And what do they say to that person to get the conversation going? Knowing who's serious and who's not, and being able to mention specific units or model types that you know that person is interested in is a huge benefit.
Right. I also want to talk a little more in detail about email marketing. Your typical email marketing campaign is not very targeted. It's not personalized, and it may just be a generic massive send out about an upcoming sale, event, or something like that. And it may even be a little boring to your email recipients. In the retail industry, we typically see about a 24% open rate and 4% click rate for the average e-newsletter. Sending emails and e-newsletter promotions that receive low open rates and low engagement is a waste of time for you and can actually damage your digital reputation if people are consistently ignoring your emails or letting them go to their junk folder. With an email that is automated or triggered based on an action that the recipient took, we see the average industry open rate increase to 46% and the average industry click rate increase to 11%. And this makes sense because the e-newsletter is being delivered for a specific reason. DealerSpike's average open and click rates are actually even higher than this, but we'll touch on that a little more later. Marketing automation makes email marketing more personalized, more specific, and more interesting to your recipients. We also have new technology that tells us if our emails are landing in a user's inbox or going straight to their junk folder. And this keeps us from repeatedly sending emails to people who aren't interested in receiving them.
That sounds great. I definitely know how it feels to get an email from a company or a business that clearly isn't catered to me. Emails that are personalized and specific to what I'm interested in are way more likely to get my attention.
Exactly. Last but not least, before we dive into the specifics of what marketing automation can do, let's touch on social media. We really encourage our dealers to utilize social media to engage with customers, but it can be tough to keep track of all of your social media engagement, especially if you have accounts on multiple platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. There are comments, likes, shares, and messages that are all valuable to your business, but can be easy to miss between all of the different accounts.
Social media is definitely a major resource for businesses online. It can seem like an overwhelming task to keep up with all of these platforms, but we know that social media is only becoming more popular.
Definitely. All right, let's talk more specifically now about how marketing automation can help solve these problems, plus do a whole lot more. With marketing automation, we are going to help you learn more about your leads, target your communication efforts, and reach customers more efficiently, ultimately helping your dealership turn more leads into sales in a way that is totally automated.
Awesome. I'm imagining there is a lot that goes into marketing automation. What would you say is the first step?
So the very first step is when an online user visits your site and is identified as a lead. Then we're going to look at lead scoring. This is how you are going to define what type of lead is most important for your dealership and how your sales team is going to know who to follow up with first when those leads come in. Lead scoring is based on points, and the system is totally customizable for your individual dealership. Basically, the score is going to go up when a website visitor engages more with your business, meaning things like filling out a lead form, visiting multiple pages, or even the same page multiple times, clicking on or replying to the emails you send, different actions like that. And generally, if an online user doesn't interact with your dealership for a period of time, the lead score will go down. But once again, the way that your dealership scores leads is completely up to you as an individual business. Maybe you consider a lead who reaches out on social media to be hotter than a lead who clicks on an email, so that social media interaction will earn higher points than an email interaction. It's all up to you. Your sales team will also get notified when a lead goes from warm to hot, so you don't have to waste any time in following up.
It's really awesome that each dealer gets to define the lead scoring process based on what they care about most, because every business is so different. So what would be the next step in marketing automation?
Next, it makes the most sense to talk about email lists and segmentation. Earlier, we touched on the fact that typical marketing email is generic and non-personalized. With marketing automation, you can create settings that add website visitors to specific email lists based on their on-site behavior, the leads they submit, their past purchases, and more. This way, they are getting added to a segment that better matches their wants and needs, and you can target them with marketing communications much more efficiently.
So, for example, a lead who's never purchased from you before isn't going to receive an email for a customer loyalty discount. Or, as another example, a customer who's only interested in a certain manufacturer is only going to receive promotions related to that brand.
Exactly right. Everything is personalized to the individual customer's wants and needs. The next step in the process is triggers. These define the threshold for automated communication. A trigger could be a lead form submission, a page view, engagement with an email, whatever it is your dealership wants to define as a trigger that leads to an action. And that leads us to actions, which take personalized marketing emails to the next level. Triggers are linked to actions. For example, let's say a person receives an email about an upcoming event, and they click on that email. That could automate a second email the following week to remind them to attend the event, and then maybe another email the day of the event reminding them.
So these triggers and actions that follow them are super specific. Just like the lead scoring that's unique to each dealership, a business can decide what triggers and actions are most important and set them up accordingly.
Yes, and once those settings are in place, the automation takes over. This makes it really easy to make sure that every lead is receiving proper follow-up. And on that note, let's talk more about automated follow-up using workflows. Let's say that user A is interested in buying a new car, and user B is interested in buying replacement parts for his current vehicle. Would you send both of them the same marketing email? No, that doesn't make any sense. You need to tailor your message to each customer based on their individual interests and needs, and you can use the data gathered through marketing automation to segment and target those users based on their behavior both on and off your website automatically. The best way to explain workflow is visually. So take a look at the example workflow on your screen. As you can see, a workflow is a series of triggers and actions that automate your dealership's marketing communications. Typically, the first step we're going to see when an online user enters a workflow is a visit to the dealership website. The triggers and actions that come after this are up to each dealership. But let's say you set things up so that once a visitor gets to a lead score of 40, your sales team will be notified to reach out to them. When that online visitor fills out a lead form indicating they are interested in a Kawasaki motorcycle, they are automatically sent an email titled The Power of Kawasaki. As you can see, the dealership has set up specific rules and automations so the online visitor will go through the workflow in a unique way that matches their individual interests and needs.
So the way an online visitor moves through the workflow is dependent on the actions that they take, but the workflow itself is designed to match the settings that you chose as the dealership.
Exactly.
You also mentioned social media as a digital touch point. How does social media play into marketing automation?
So because we're able to identify website visitors and capture information about the journey they take on the dealership website, we can also find the actions those visitors take on social media. Through marketing automation, you can see which people have visited your site, are also visiting you on social media, and are liking, sharing, or commenting on your posts. This adds another piece to the puzzle. Generally, a website visitor who has also taken the time to engage with your business on social media is going to earn a higher lead score.
So now that we have a basic understanding of how the different pieces of marketing automation work, I think it might be helpful to talk through some more in-depth examples so we can sort of see the process in action.
Absolutely. All right, let's start with this example. An online visitor submits a lead on your website for a new vehicle. The next day, they return to your site and view your Yamaha inventory, Honda inventory, and your ATV pages. When they view the Yamaha page, that triggers an email campaign that sends the user a targeted email about Yamaha inventory. The user clicks on your Yamaha ATV page, which makes sense based on their past on-site behavior, and that triggers another email focused on your best-selling Yamaha ATVs. By this point, the lead score is very high for the user, and your sales team will get a notification that tells them it's time to reach out.
So it's almost like the automation is doing the work for you. Instead of a salesperson having to reach out and get the information to know what the customer is interested in, that information is being collected in an automated and fairly foolproof way based on what the customer is actually doing.
Yes, marketing automation makes it so easy for salespeople to get to know the customer before they even make that first attempt at a sales pitch, and it saves them a ton of time too.
Could you give us an example of how this might work with a non-prospect, so a customer who's already made a purchase from your dealership?
Absolutely. Let's say that following a purchase, a customer gets added to a sold email list. From there, they enter a workflow that sends maintenance reminders at different intervals based on the unit that was sold. So if they bought a motorcycle, then 6 months later, they'll receive an email reminding them to get an oil change. At 1 year post-sale, they'll get a reminder to change the tires, clean the chain, check the brake fluid, and maybe that last reminder will even come with a coupon for the dealership service department.
That's great. So they stay up to date with all of their maintenance needs, and no one at your dealership really has to give it a second thought. It's all automated, and you're likely bringing them back into your dealership for additional purchases.
Right. I'll give one more example that just really shows how specific, personalized, and targeted we can get with email marketing campaigns. Let's say you're looking at your user segments and you find a small group of people who have really high lead scores. They interact with your Keystone RV page a lot, but they never respond to any of your communication efforts. You can send that small group of users an exclusive offer that says something like, "Come see the latest Keystone RV. Only 10 people are invited and you were selected." Using dynamic features, marketing automation can personalize that email to each recipient.
So you're able to use strategic techniques to engage those users who are clearly interested but just haven't made the move to purchase yet. That's great. So marketing automation is a fairly new product for DealerSpike, but we do have some dealers on board and they're seeing good results, right? Can you tell us what kind of improvements and results dealers can expect using this service?
Yeah, we have been seeing great results with our marketing automation clients. And as you will see in just a minute, we have seen some amazing results from Great Escapes RV, which is one of our first dealers to sign on. First, I want to go over some industry averages when it comes to how effective marketing communication is for businesses. First, we'll look at some statistics for marketing without the use of marketing automation. The average industry open rate for emails is 20.6%, and the average industry click-through rate for emails is 6.4%. But with Dealer Spike's marketing automation in place, these are the average results we see. 63.9% open rate, over 3 times the open rate of standard emails, and 14.5% email click-through rate, over twice as high as the emails that are not sent using marketing automation. So as you can see, this makes a big difference in driving interest and nurturing leads through email marketing. It's also noteworthy to mention that on average, companies that excel at lead nurturing generate 50% more sales opportunities. Now, let's take a look at Great Escapes RV's average email open and click-through rates since they started using marketing automation. This dealership has seen an average email open rate of 76.2% and an average email click-through rate of 19.1%.
Wow, those are some super impressive stats.
Yeah, they definitely are. And the other thing to keep in mind is that with marketing automation, a customer is so much more likely to return post-sale. Without marketing automation, that customer who bought the unit may not receive much follow-up, if any. And when they're ready for parts, service, or to make another vehicle purchase, they won't really have a reason to return to your dealership. But marketing automation ensures that proper follow-up is given and helps you retain customers who come back and buy from you again and again.
That's a great point. So not only are prospects being handled correctly, but past customers are well taken care of too, which is another huge missed opportunity for sales without marketing automation in place.
Exactly.
Well, we could talk a lot more about marketing automation and all of the capabilities that it has, but that's all the time that we have for today. Cale, could you give the dealers a brief rundown of what marketing automation packages are available and how they can get started?
Definitely. We would love to get you connected with a sales representative if you're interested in getting started. But the quick rundown is that we offer 3 packages: Lite, Plus, and Pro. All 3 of our packages options, including Lite, come with customizable lead scoring, an easy-to-use dashboard within your admin panel, form submission filtering, the ability to export leads and reports, plus support and consultation from Dealer Spike's marketing automation team. However, with our Plus and Pro packages, you're going to get so much more. With Plus, you get things like pre-built dynamic email lists personalized to your business, preset automation workflows to kick off your first campaigns, social listening ability to track engagements on social media, and a whole lot more. Our Pro package basically means that the Dealer Spike team will do all of the setup and maintenance of marketing automation for you. You work with us to let us know what's important to you and how you want to customize your marketing efforts, and we'll take it from there. Like I said, our sales team can go into a lot more detail about all of your options and everything that comes with each package, but those are the basics.
Great. Well, that takes us to the end of our presentation, but as promised, we are going to answer a handful of your questions. If you still want to ask a question, it's not too late. Just type it into the question section on your control panel. If you need to expand your control panel, as a reminder, you just need to hit that orange arrow button in the top corner to do that. So Cale, I'll let you jump in and answer the first question.
Let's see. So in addition to marketing automation, does Dealer Spike also do standard email blasts? So if by email blast you mean things like those generic newsletters, yes, we absolutely still do those. They are still an important part of any email marketing campaign, and we can do those in addition to the really targeted automations that we develop for you. When someone opts out of future emails, is there still a benefit to marketing automation? So yes, regardless of the email preferences, our tool will still gather data on user behavior, so the lead score for that user will always be accurate and up to date. Once we've identified a user with a high lead score, your sales team can then reach out by phone or other means aside from email. What happens to website activity leading up to lead submission? Is all of that data tracked? It absolutely is. So while a contact isn't registered until they submit a lead or interact with your dealership, once they are identified as a lead, our tool will look at any previous web traffic from that IP address and attribute that to the user to ensure that the lead score is accurate and we have as much info about the user as possible. Are lead scores adjustable after setup? So yes, as seasonality changes, so do the priorities for your dealership. You know, marketing automation is not a set it and forget it sort of system. We are constantly working to ensure that we are targeting the algorithm properly and putting weight on what's important for your dealership at any given time of the year. Would DealerSpike also be able to take imported contacts that already exist in our database? Absolutely. One of the first steps we do when setting up your account is importing your current email list into the tool and segmenting those users so we can start with really targeted communication. Having an email list already created is a really great jumping off point and gives us some good data through marketing automation. Will this work with most CRM systems or just your site back in the tool? So right now, we don't have a whole lot of CRM integration. However, anything you can export from CRM, we can import into our marketing automation tool. So any sold data you have, any info about the units or past parts or service history, we can import that into our tool and ensure we're targeting our communications effectively.
I'll jump in and answer a question as well really quickly. We are getting questions about pricing. Unfortunately, we are not members of the sales team, so we're not able to provide that information ourselves. But you are going to be receiving an email about an hour from now that's going to allow you to really easily get in touch with our sales team, and they can give you all of that information. So we're not ignoring those questions. We just need to answer those later during the follow-up with our sales team.
I think we got time for one more question here. Would DealerSpike do the actual creation and design of the email campaign? So yes, with our top-level pro package there, the DealerSpike team will take care of all of the creation, targeting, and email communications for your dealership. We'll create the campaigns, newsletters, the automations, and we'll set everything live and do all of that nitty-gritty work for you.
Okay. Well, dealers, unfortunately, we are out of time. If we were not able to make it to your question, we truly apologize. There were many that we weren't able to get to, but like I said, you are going to be receiving a follow-up email in about an hour, and that will allow you to very easily request more information. You can also reach out to us directly if you want using the contact information on your screen. You can email us sales@dealerspike.com or give us a call at 800-288-5917. Thank you so much for attending, and Cale, thank you so much for providing your marketing automation expertise today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Lauren, and thank you, dealers, for taking some time out of your busy schedules to attend today. I look forward to working with many of you to help increase the efficiency and targeting of your marketing campaigns.
Thanks, dealers. Have a great rest of your day.